What's up everyone, my name is RoyaleRebelle, and in this video I'm going to talk about whether or not I think Mei should be reclassified as a tank in Overwatch 2. Now I heard someone ask this on TikTok like forever ago, and I just thought it would be fun to give my take on this. Mei has been one of my favorite Overwatch characters since the game came out, and even though I'm not a hardcore Overwatch player, I still wanted to share my thoughts on this. So the short answer is yes, I absolutely do. And that's not just me wanting it so I can play her without the longer queue times. So she was originally classified as defense role when Overwatch still had that role, and that role was defined by abilities that allowed heroes to protect, which, depending on the ability, aligns much better with tank than it does damage. I mean, her wall is quite literally a shield, and while it doesn't look like the other shields that tanks have, it still blocks damage, and it also has the bonus of being able to physically block enemies from moving forward, whereas other tank shields, you can just walk straight through. All of this makes me kind of shocked that she hasn't been classified as a tank yet, and at least to my knowledge, I don't think there's any plans to change that. But the idea of Mei being a tank aligns with how the game defines tanks. According to the Overwatch wiki, tanks, quote-unquote, specialize in protecting allies, disrupting enemies, and occupying the front line. They have high survivability and abilities that protect themselves and others with shields and crowd control. Each of Mei's abilities aligns with at least some part of the Overwatch definition of tanks, especially when you compare it to damage, which says, quote-unquote, damage heroes are responsible for seeking out, engaging, and defeating the enemy using their varied tools, abilities, and playstyles. Mei can use her ice wall to protect allies. This ability can also be used to trap enemies or split them up, which is pretty disruptive. Her cryo freeze gives her better survivability than most damage because not only does it stop her from taking damage while it's active, it also heals her. And obviously her blizzard is a form of crowd control, and to a certain point so does her spray ability, as it slows down enemy movement speed, making them easier targets for teammates to shoot at. Now I don't think Overwatch should just plop Mei into the tank role with her current kit, primarily because this kit was set up to fit her into the damage role. The biggest thing I would change would be to add back her ability to freeze enemies with her spray attack. This would give that boost to crowd control she'd need to be an effective tank in the current meta. I wish I knew enough about damage stat to say what changes, if any, I would make to those, but looking at the changelog from Overwatch to Overwatch 2, it does look like she got a significant increase in her damage per second. Looking at the changelog, I would say split the difference on the damage. So instead of her damage per second being 100, which it currently is, or 55 what it was in Overwatch, make it about 75. In comparison, D.Va does about 65 including reload. It looks like Orisa does 144, not including her cooldown, and Reinhardt does about 88. So it feels like 75 would put her on the lower average of damage for tanks. But to make up for that, I would increase her wall's health back to 400, or again, maybe split the difference again and make it 325. I would also increase the range back to what it was pre-Overwatch 2, so that would be 35. I think Mei has the potential to be a really strong tank in Overwatch 2. The developers just need to treat her like one instead of placing her in a role that frankly makes no sense given her abilities. But those are my thoughts on the subject. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more Overwatch content.